Hi, I'm Harjeet. Welcome to Girls Talk. It's nice having you with us today. I'm more excited to announce my guest. It's Raji Kabli, and she is a digital storyteller as well as an influencer. And I want to get her opinion on culture clash. She's a Canadian-born Indian girl, and what she's experienced and her opinion on that, because she has a wealth of information and knowledge. And I'm going to get her to tell us a little bit about herself so you can understand why I'm asking for her opinion.
Hey.
So hi, Raji.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so fun to be here.
It's always so nice to meet people in person, especially after we've been talking on the phone.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the introduction. Like you said, I'm a digital storyteller, journalist, started out in television, left television and moved online. So when I'm not storytelling, shooting, editing, producing, reporting, doing stories, I am teaching yoga. I am working with the HeartMath Institute, teaching resilience training and stress management, doing a bunch of other stuff like content creating and management for a mindfulness platform and app. So that will be coming out this week. Actually, we're going to be doing the beta, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm always learning. Spirituality is a big part of my life too, so it's important to always keep studying myself and just always working on that. So yeah.
It's quite fitting, I have to tell you something quite personal, that I'm actually doing this interview with you today, because I've been kind of questioning, like, today I don't know why my life just kind of feels like, oh, you know, and I'm a spiritual person too, but I've been kind of feeling like, oh, you know, there's no place, like, oh, I don't know what's going on with life and the world and everything. So when you meet somebody who's also spiritual, it kind of like brings you back to your roots, and I'm sure our conversation will be amazing to learn from.
Yes.
So you don't just learn every day, you can also teach people.
Yeah, you're practicing, always must. I have my morning routine now, like down packed. It involves a little meditation, a little yoga, a little writing, a little breathing, some pranayama. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that order, but for me, like between the times of like 7 and 9, or sometimes 6:30 and 9, like that's my practice time. And if I can get my work in, my personal work, like the day is set up, and it always is a great day. And I know it sounds like super happy and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff that goes wrong during the day. But I just find, Harjeet, when I do my practice in the morning, everything's like a-okay, on point, because it's all about the heart. And I talk a lot about the heart and the power of the heart. Like I said, I work with the HeartMath Institute that's done an amazing amount of research about the intuitive heart, the intelligent heart, how the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And a lot of people, a big problem for humanity right now is overthinking. We overthink the crap out of everything, and we kind of forget about what's happening here in the center of us. And a lot of our stress and anxiety comes from our mind saying one thing and our heart saying another, and they're constantly battling. Can you relate to that at all?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just like nodding my head in awe, and I'm just listening to you.
I know, it's a big problem, right? Because it's like, and the heart will tell you crazy things to do, like quit your job or leave the relationship, and you're like, what? Like, I can't have responsibilities, I have bills, you know, but I love him, kind of thing. But sometimes the heart, it has this, it's connected to source energy, and it has the plan. It really has the plan. So a lot of the questions that we have surrounding our life around purpose and some of the tragedies that sometimes happen to us in times of suffering, why did this happen to me? I really stress, like, go inside, like all the answers are inside first, and seek out good meditation teachers and good practices that help you go inside, because the truth is there. Like, why Guru Satnam is one of my most favorite mantras ever. It's so beautiful. Why is the great the
Yeah.
wondrous guru teacher.
Oh, yes.
You know, and it's just like, yes, the teacher inside, like connect with that teacher inside, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's so true, and it's so prophetic and so profound, you know, to actually think like that, like, and everything else you're saying, to go deep inside and to kind of get the answers from inside. It's not, you make it sound so easy, you make it sound so simple, but not everything is. To me, I would have to say, like swimming, not everybody can swim, right? Everybody can learn, everybody can be taught, everybody has the ability to swim, more than likely, but not everybody can do it. Is meditation the same thing, like what you're saying, to get in touch with your body and to do that deep kind of meditation? Is it possible for everybody? Or is there are difficulties for some people?
Okay, I'm going to start with two things. Number one, yes, definitely. Actually, it is quite simple, but it's not easy. This has been a long road for me. I started meditating when I was about 20 or 21 years old because of a deep suffering that I went through. I got my heart broken for the first time, devastated, like wanted to die. Like I hated everything. Like it was just a really dark time, but that's when I started to look at, well, what else is out there? There's got to be something more than just this. And then the other thing is, when you're starting out with meditation, we must quiet the mind first, because the mind is like this all the time. And observing the mind, recognizing that that voice that you hear inside of your head is not really you. And I know that sounds like a wild statement. Like, what do you mean that's not me? Then who is it? Right, then who is it? And that's one of like the best questions we've been asking ourselves for thousands of years. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And that question, I don't think we'll ever stop asking, because it's so, it gets to like the core of us. We're like an onion, it's the layers. So when we were a child, we are conditioned to be a certain way. We have a personality that comes into play. Like if you ever observe a child, maybe around like 2 or 3 years old, they're like Billy's cup, or you know, Sarah's monkey. So they can't identify themselves yet, and so this is why they speak about themselves with their own name. And it's not until like, you know, a little later where you start showing themselves in the mirror and you're like, look, that's you, kind of thing. They get this like really interesting like awareness of who they are. And I talk a lot about self-awareness, because there's got to come this like moment where you hear that voice, because some people can't even hear the voice. And they're like, what are you talking about? What voice? And it's like, listen, like just quiet, and you can just listen to it, and it'll just keep going and going. So with meditation, what is a good thing about it is that it allows you to listen to that voice and then step back from it. You don't have to get attached to all the thoughts. Thoughts are like blood. They just happen. Blood flows. Thought happens. A lot of people are like, I gotta stop thinking. Man, that's an uphill battle. If you're trying to stop your thoughts right off of the bat, I think that comes with practice. And even I couldn't even sit for 5 minutes. I was like, this is so freaking hard. Like, how do people do this? Now I can sit for an hour. But that is like 10, 11 years of practice, and like, you know, doing and sets and practicing with teachers and by myself and everything. Meditation has changed my life in so many ways. It's connected me to my purpose, passion, relationships, people, allowed me to go traveling and then come back, and it's a lifelong practice for me, and I'll never stop promoting it.
It's not the first, you're not the first person that meditation would have caused a positive effect on. I mean, I've heard about a lot of people that have meditated, and a lot of people will give the advice to meditate. You know, even I see therapists and counselors, and they will tell me to focus on mindfulness and to also practice meditation.
Yeah.
So it's quite common, and you know, it's more also known widely as treatment for certain things, like for mental health too. Meditation is also quite important.
Yeah, but you know what's
Right?
interesting with the thing with mental health? I've heard of people saying that meditation, when they do have a mental health issue, can actually do the opposite effect, because and make them spiral even more, because their mind is the problem, and if they're, you know, told to sit there and go in deep and just breathe and stuff, they might be bypassing the real issues that they need to deal with sometimes. So this is just some of the counter arguments to meditation, which is really interesting as well.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Have you ever practiced any breath work?
Is that like when they say breathe in and think they breathe out?
Yeah, pranayama. Yeah,
Okay.
that works. So breath work is another thing that I would love more people to try. It's amazing because you can hit these states, these altered states that some people have compared to like taking a drug or, you know, some mind altering thing, and it's only with your breath. And you can clear a lot of blocked up emotions or things that need to be moved. We're all healing, right? We all have healing to do, and it's okay to admit that, and B, to seek out things that will help you to heal. And breathwork is a really natural way to, and a safe way, as long as you have a teacher and someone that you trust, to help you go to that level and see what's there. So I have experience with that too, and it's not easy. Like, it's simple, but it's not easy because it's like work. You're breathing in this cyclical way, and one of them is called Breath of Life, and it sounds like, and you're just doing this over and over again. And we did one session, and we like did that for I think almost an hour at like 45 minutes, and man, it's like so much stuff comes up. And yeah, there's more to it, but breath work is another amazing natural thing that we can do. It's interesting how we like got to healing.
I know. Well, we had to learn a little bit about you, right? To understand like what your expertise is and what your knowledge is as well.
Totally.
I find like with that, the breath work and stuff, and meditation itself, is that first of all, I'm always thinking about like, and it's not like that I have so many millions of things to do, but when I do have time to do nothing, I actually want to do nothing, which would mean sleep or just lie down and do nothing. So meditation is kind of like stressful to me to think about. Like, oh my God, I have to like factor that in now. And so I find that kind of difficult. But
that's a great point, actually. It's like, one more thing to put on my list to do, meditation. I love that. Because what if like turning your dishes into meditation, or like putting away your clothes, or doing a mundane, like that's mindfulness too.
Yeah, see, I do find that, like, you know, when I shower, I do have a lot of the way I work. I have a lot of prayers in my mind. I try and have prayers from like all different religions and all different.
Nice.
And I just kind of say them in my mind when I'm showering, when I wash the dishes, when I'm cooking, even when I'm lying in bed to go to sleep. And that to me is enough. But then when somebody will say you have to sit in a chair for half an hour and you have to do it like this, then it kind of takes away from things. Like, say if I have a whole day packed of stuff to do, it kind of scares me, because I'm thinking, that half an hour is going to stress me out because it's going to take away from me getting stuff done.
Absolutely.
And so then it throws my whole day off. So I've just never been the kind of person that can actually sit and meditate. I can think in my head while I do things, but
do you get any pain when you sit
for long periods of time? I can sometimes. It depends on the chair.
Definitely. You know? Lying down, standing up, or sitting. Like, these are the only three postures that we can do meditation in. And yoga is great. because it prepares the body for meditation.
That's
people,
right.
you know, like people are like, oh yeah, fitness and stuff, but yoga is a spiritual practice first and foremost. And, you know, the yogis and stuff were in the caves thousands of years ago in India, and they would be sitting for hours and hours, like in the same position, and they would like open their leg and they're like, oh God, like that feels so good. Let's call it this posture. And so yoga is awesome because you literally are preparing the body for meditation, and it's good to do the asanas and stuff. Do you practice yoga at all?
I don't actually practice yoga, but we're actually going to get back to this
Yes.
right after the break. I can't believe how time has flown. Like, it just flew by. I'm so intrigued with learning more. But we will come back, and right after the break, we'll be back. We'll finish off talking with Raji. Enjoy this break.
चॉकलेट चिप कुकी
अली
सिर्फ कुकी दूंगा, चॉकलेट चिप नहीं दूंगा। इसमें तो बहुत सारे चॉकलेट चिप हैं। एक सेकंड देता हूँ, अभी भी बहुत है।
अब अली बेचारा क्या करे जब नए बिस्कॉनी चॉकलेट चिप कुकी में है बहुत ज्यादा चॉकलेट चिप्स, ऊपर भी चॉकलेट अंदर भी चॉकलेट।
आपकी कुकी
बिस्कॉनी चॉकलेट चिप कुकीज बहुत 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 चॉकलेटी।
हर खुशी बिस्कॉनी।
Are you sure about it? Let's do it then.
The family law lawyers at Alam Law Chambers will be with you during your stressful divorce and custody battle so that the best possible result can be found for you and your children. Reliable and affordable. Alam Law.
This is the world of internet. You have everything on your computer and mobile screen. If you wish to promote your business through internet, especially to perfect target market, then you have just one reliable name, NJ Marketing, offering various marketing solutions like social media marketing, telemarketing, email marketing, search engine optimization, graphic designing, web designing and development, and mobile application development. So call now at 647-824-1485 or email at njmarketing15@gmail.com or log on to njmarketing.ca.
We at Albarka Travel are passionate about our clients' entire journey, from dream to experience to memory. We are not only the #1 Umrah agent in Canada, but also guarantee the cheapest airfare to Pakistan, India, Middle East, and Europe. Albarka Travel, combining your ideas with its experience and expertise to deliver you the most enjoyable travel experience and vacation packages possible. Get in touch at 905-232-6566. Albarka Travel. Explore the world with us.
An exclusive multi-designer studio specialized in wedding planning services, bridal wear, casual party wear, jewelry, shoes, purses, dupattas, men's and kids' clothes. You name it, we have it. Some of the Pakistani designer labels we carry are Semi-K, Agha Noor, Sana Safinaz, Anas Abrar, Zainab Chutani, Wahaj Khan, Fatma Khan, and many more. Parahan, sheer elegance. We believe in quality service and best price.
You can contact 9075 Derry Road West, Unit Number 1, Milton, Ontario.
रंग वाली भरम वाली न्यूज वाले व्यूज वाले खेल वाले मेल वाले कराची वाले खैबर वाले लाहौर वाले पिंडी वाले इन शॉट पूरे पाकिस्तान वाले चिली मिली की हमत वाले कैंडीलैंड चिली मिली।
मैं हूं जहांगीर खान, स्क्वाश कोर्ट का चैंपियन, लेकिन रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट का चैंपियन मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन। मुझे उन पर यकीन है, आप भी करके देखिए।
जहांगीर खान और हजारों क्लाइंट्स का चहेता मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन। रेजिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टीज और इन्वेस्टमेंट्स दोनों के लिए ही सही मशवरा, सही फैसला। मकान जिसे आप अपना घर कहने में फख्र महसूस करेंगे। मोहम्मद कामरान हुसैन, 4163185264।
Hi, so I'm Harjeet. Welcome back to Girls Talk. Hope you enjoyed the break. I'm here with Raji and I'm having such a fun conversation with her. The original topic was to talk about culture clash, but we actually covered a lot of meditation because that's where our expertise is. But now I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit.
Okay.
So taking that you meditate and you practice mindfulness, you teach yoga, and you also are head of content at a mindfulness app that's going to be launched, which is it's interesting, but it's not quite the traditional career for an Indian girl.
Right.
As you know, I mean, doctor, lawyer, anything like that. I mean, those are the two that come up, accountant, anything along those lines is normal in our culture. So how are your parents finding your career path?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for asking that, because it's been a struggle. It's been a long road, and having them understand journalism to be a viable career, and I can do something that I really love to do and make money at it, and don't have to do the traditional, like, become a teacher, or my dad really wanted me to become a police officer, actually.
Oh, wow.
and go into the teaching line or stay with the bank. I was working at the bank in my 20s during university, and that was a great job. But to be honest with you, I looked around and I just kind of saw people and like the life being sucked out of them a little bit, and I was like, I can't, that can't be me. And I think in our culture, creativity isn't as encouraged, or what's the right word, like promoted in a way, like, yes, go be an artist or, you know, go follow your passions and go traveling was a big one. So after I finished university, I decided that I needed to go see how the other side of the world lived, and I wanted to do something that I've always wanted to do since high school, and that was teach abroad. And I ended up getting a job in South Korea to teach English. I was 22, just finished university. I remember sitting down in my living room with mom and dad and saying, I really want to do this. Please, like give me your blessing. And they were just like, what are you doing? Who does this? Go to teachers college first. Like, don't do this. You're going to regret it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, I'm not going to regret it. I remember crying, like my mom's crying, dad's choked up, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to make this decision. And I was like, I'm going. They're like, fine, you're going to regret it. And I left. And I remember being on the airplane and feeling so scared. Like, not only am I going to live on my own for the first time ever, but I'm going across the world to a country that doesn't even speak English. Holy crap. And so I remember landing, meeting my person who's collecting me, and that's going to put me on a bus to take me to my school. Little tiny town called Jechun. I have no idea where this is. All I know is I'm going on a bus for 2 hours, and at the end of the journey, my director will be there to greet me. And I cried myself to sleep on that bus ride, and I just passed out because I was tired, and I was so like, oh my God, my family's on the other side. Like, what did I do? I'm like, Dad was right. I was like, no, Raj, no, relax, just breathe. It's gonna be okay. And in that first week, by the way, I lived with cockroaches that first week. It was crazy. Just being in South Korea was amazing, but very, like, again, culture shock.
Yeah.
And then I remember that week I spoke to my dad, and in 22 years, it was the first time that he ever said, I'm proud of you. And just to hear that, I was like, done. Like, the whole trip is just like, you know what I mean? Like, that whole journey of it could have ended right there. Just hearing that from my dad was huge. And it got me thinking recently, because when we were, you know, gonna have this chat about like how much we want our parents' approval.
Of course.
Even as adults, right?
Yes.
Like, are you proud of me now? Oh, I got married. Are you proud of me now? Oh, you want a grandkid? Okay. Are you proud of me now? You know, it's like, wow, so much of what we do depends on like their approval or other people's approval too. You know, it's quite interesting. So now they have really accepted my line of work most of the time. Sometimes over dinner, it does get brought up. of why I never went to teachers college, or, you know, Raji, you give up too easily on certain things, because I did try out for the police, I tried out for the RCMP. I'm very service oriented.
So you did try, your dad said, to be a police officer, and you thought, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
Didn't
passed
work out?
passed all the things except the damn push and pull part on the physical part. Totally underestimated how like my upper body strength was not there at that time, and I was like, all right, I tried, not doing it again. No, Raj, you should try it again. Nope, don't want to. And journalism was the last thing I got into. I mean, I came back from Korea, did a specialization in conflict resolution and peace studies, because I had ambitions of going to the UN and working with the global conflicts going on. And then I went to Japan for a year because I wasn't satisfied with my experience in Korea. And Japan was amazing. I did the JET program. It's very challenging to get into, and I learned a lot there. Came back and then got into journalism at around 27 years old.
So you've done a lot of unconventional careers for an Indian girl.
Yes.
I have to say.
And I'm not married, right? So, and I'm in my 30s.
Oh, wow.
And I don't live with them anymore.
So you're quite a hot topic for conversation in our culture. You know? I mean, I do find that the culture is kind of shifting as well with the generations and with the movement to more Western countries. But I mean, I want to kind of get your opinion on this, because I find it's one of those topics that comes up a lot in conversation. A lot of people say that if you were to go back home, which is back to any of the South Asian countries, like, you know, India, for example, you go back there, there's a lot more leniency with the people, the children, and how they're raised. You know, girls have a lot more freedom than they would when they move to a different country. And the story behind that is that the parents, because they're not attached to their culture as much as when they lived there, they are trying so extra hard to maintain what they remember growing up, that we, moving to the Western countries, are actually the ones who are more cultureful than the ones that are actually back home. And what's your opinion on that? Do you see that? Have you heard that before?
I have. I'm trying to think of an example of in my life where, you know, my cousins from India were more cultured or knew more about Sikhism or Punjabi culture than I did. I mean, look at the weddings, because the weddings are so different over in India than they are here.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. They're trying to hold on more to the cultural norms and tendencies in the Western nations versus back in India, because, you know, it's like, we got to preserve the culture kind of thing. I have two minds of that on that subject, because culture is awesome. I love it. Tradition is great too, but we got to start thinking of humans and that story of our pain. We all have the same suffering. You know, we all want love, we all want care, we all want to see our children do well. Like at the end of the day, we all kind of want the same thing. So coming back to the way that we grew up, you know, from a Western country but have Eastern kind of roots. Yeah, it is a tremendous amount of culture clash, because you want to appease your parents again, you know, because they're holding on to their traditions and you want to see them happy, but at the same time you're trying to just live your life in a country where, you know, it's a melting pot. Toronto, it's great. I have friends from all different cultures and races and ethnicities, and it's beautiful. But when you're raised to, you know, think like, don't you dare bring a Muslim guy home, or like, you know, where's the Punjabi guy, or like, you know, why don't you speak more Punjabi at home and stuff. It's like, okay, okay, I guess this is the way, like, it's got to be, like, must follow this, and this is the conditioned self. So when I say, you know, that voice inside your head, it's not really you. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. It's just like all this other stuff that people told you who you are, but that's not who you really are. And it's like taking off layers and finding that truth within yourself. And that's been a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. No way. And I'll be very surprised if that happens overnight to anyone. Have you ever heard of anyone?
No, I don't think it will happen overnight at all. You know,
It's a
and like
process.
one of the things, like talking about you being single in your 30s too, and then thinking about you having tried to be a police officer to please your dad, I'm wondering, I'm kind of curious, I'm not sure if your parents do or don't, but if they did believe in arranged marriages and they were to introduce you to somebody just like you tried to be a police officer because that's what your dad wanted, would you even give an arranged marriage a shot?
Oh my God. So, yeah, they've definitely tried to set me up with multiple individuals. Okay, you know, a lot of them are from the newspaper, and I just find it hilarious. Like the matrimonials in the newspaper. And bless them, like, because they are just looking out for me in the best possible way that they know how. But when I turn around, I'm like, no, thank you, I'm good. And they're like, but why? Do you have someone? No. So then why? He's this, and this. And I'm like, man, what do I say? So, okay, I agreed to it one time just to like get them off my back, or just to say like, hey, I tried. And, you know, it didn't work out. But they definitely tried to do the arranged thing. I've softened myself on the topic just because, you know, like, why is it so different than Tinder or Bumble or something else? It's just your parents are finding a match for you from a newspaper. That's the thing it's kind of strange to me.
It's not just that your parents are finding the match, it's also that usually the match that they find, the ad has been written by their parents.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, it's parents putting children together. There's no child actually who's initiating this process.
Right, right, and that's what gets me, because I'm like, did you guys write an ad for me in the paper? No, they wouldn't dream of doing that. But they are looking. They stopped now, but in the past they definitely have, out of their heart, they were hoping to find a good match for me. But then you know, sometimes I questioned. I'm like, do you really know what I'm looking for? They've never, like, yeah. I mean, that's a whole other topic, right? Like getting your parents to like find your ideal match. What about you? Like, would you let your parents?
I'm comfortable with my parents finding me someone.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like a whole different, like, you know, kettle of fish, actually. I kind of want to do things the right, proper way. And I think that's the way I should do it. And then if it doesn't work, then, because I'm kind of lost soul now. Because I've done it the way my parents wanted it done.
Yeah.
And I wanted to follow the rules and be by the book.
Oh, interesting.
And because it didn't go that way, I'm kind of like, I don't know who I am. I kind of want to go off the rails and be somebody completely different.
Question. So you followed what they wanted in the sense of like, okay, Harjeet, you're this age now. Let's find you a boy. And here's the guy. And you're like, okay, mommy, daddy, like, okay, let's do this. It worked?
It never really happened quite like that. It never really happened quite like that, but it never actually worked either.
It didn't work either.
But I would never blame my parents, because my parents, it's worked for them.
Yeah.
Enough that they've had children and they've raised us to at least be thoughtful enough to think of them.
Yeah.
And to be wise enough to go out and get educated and get careers and use our wisdom to educate others.
Yeah.
So our parents did a phenomenal job. So I think if it worked for them, I think it could work in this generation too.
Yeah.
That's just how I see things.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Yeah.
and I know we're really, really short for time, but I want to throw in one more question before we're going to close the show. Is that you had gone to South Korea against your parents' well wishes and all that.
Yeah.
If they were to say, like when they try to set you up with somebody as an arranged marriage, they asked you if you had anybody else and you said you didn't. Had you had somebody else that was completely out of bounds, like out of culture, different age, anything, would you even tell your parents?
Right.
Or would you even consider somebody that was not?
Yep, good question. So at the time, I would have lied. When I was like 22, 23, I would have lied. Yes, I've dated people outside of my culture, and I've brought him home to mom and dad, and they adored him. And because, you know, as the years went on, and Raji's just going to do what she wants to do. And sometimes there was tension because she doesn't listen to us, but I did. Like, they became my yoga students, and now we have this beautiful relationship, the three of us, that it's the best our relationship has ever been, and we respect each other and we love each other. And I think it's taken all that time for us to have this really deep love and mutual respect that I can bring home somebody that I think is good for me, and they will love him as much as I do.
Yeah, and I love that. That's
Yeah.
a great way to end that topic, because it's so true. Parents will always back down, and they, well, not
They
always,
just wanna
but
see you
most
happy,
often.
right?
Yeah, they do. I mean, we're lucky enough to have parents that want to see
I
us
know,
happy. So
I know. Love
it's
my
a nice feeling. And I hate to have to end the show. I really do, but we're not going to end our conversation. We are going to carry it off.
Yep.
Carry it on off air, because
Yes.
I'm really enjoying this conveation.
Me too.
But thank you so much for being on the show, Raji.
Thank you so much for having me, Harjeet.
It was a pleasure
great
meeting you,
time.
and it was a pleasure learning everything.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Girls Talk with Harjeet Dhillon and Raji. And again, I want to say thank you to Fariel's Makeup for the makeup, as always. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.